What's up YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we will be doing a $500 Loomis wrapped quarter hunt. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you'll know I've filled up two full sets of Washington quarter albums from 1965 to the current year, with the exception of a couple of the Denver minted newer women's quarters up through 2023. So this hunt is really just going to be this box, but if we do happen to find anything really shiny and whatnot, we will definitely check it against our albums. And if we find any of the new 2020, late 2023 Denver quarters or 2024s, we'll be sure to pay special attention to those. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into these quarters. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, we are hunting through a box of Loomis wrapped quarters with looking for basically any kind of odd or interesting quarter that may be worth more than face value. And that would include silver quarters, which would be 1964 and earlier. Those are made at 90% silver. We'd be looking for San Francisco proofs, business strike proofs, and above all else, we'd be looking for West Point minted quarters. They have a W mint mark instead of a P, a D, or an S. So those West Points are still commanding pretty good money on eBay, especially for some specific designs. Most of them have settled in kind of in that $10 to $15 range. And don't ask me which ones, because it's been a while since I've looked. I think like War in the Pacific might be one. They're still going for kind of 20, 30, 40 bucks if they're in really good condition. So definitely going to have our eye out for those West Points. You know, silver quarters today are worth a couple, I want to say like $4, $4.50, something like that. Silver's been on a run, so they're worth a pretty penny, but not as much as our West Points. So what I'm doing here with these first 5 rolls is just getting them out and kind of edge hunting for some silver or anything that looks interesting. And I'll go off camera and go back through these one at a time. And if we find anything really interesting, I'll bring in, we'll talk about it. And when I say interesting, I mean things like mint errors and varieties. So I have a whole checklist and a document, the description down below this video, that has all of the quarters that I look for. And I also use the Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book, because it has some great pictures of various errors that you would be looking for in modern currency. So those are things like die chips, double die obverses, double die reverses, things like that. So like I said, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to look through these, and as soon as we find something interesting worth more than a quarter, I'll bring you in and we'll talk about it. So we're getting through those first 5 rolls. As you can see, 1 through 4 are gone. Roll number 5, we've gone through it, and it's a happy day. We've come across our first find, and it's one of the main ones we're looking for when we hunt quarters. Now, this came up reverse facing. The W's were only minted 2019 and 2020, so you always want to check those mint marks. This time, even if it had come up obverse facing, you would have seen that V75, so we know it's a 2020. There's that W mint mark that we're looking for. And let's see here, we've got a Salt River Bay. Now, it's not in the best of shape. It's definitely been circulated, so it won't bring top dollar, but it's not in bad shape either. So definitely going to hang on to that, and we will cover values at the end of the video. But as I said, at a minimum, this is probably a $10 coin, but we'll check it out on eBay and see what they're going for coins that look like this currently. So we got out rolls 6 through 10, just finished getting through roll number 8, and I got all the way to the end because I found 2 of these in that same roll, and I cover this in just about every one of my quarter videos. It's going to be a really easy die chip error for you guys to find. Especially if you're new coin roll hunters, keep your eye out for this one. It's not worth a whole lot of money though. You'll see right here on Wilma Mankiller's hair, she's got a little channel in her hair that has a die chip in it that's not supposed to be there. And if we put that under the scope, you'll see right here, we've got that little hunk of metal. That should be like an empty channel like you see here and here and here. Instead, we've got some metal in there, and I've got 2 of them. Here's the other one. They were in the same roll. And that should tell you just how easy these are to find. That if I can get 2 in one roll, you're typically going to come across anywhere from 1 to maybe 10 of these in a box. I typically, after finding 2 or 3, stop looking for them because they are so common. But if you can get lucky and sell them for $1 or $2 a piece, maybe it's worth your time. I just figure after eBay fees and envelopes and stamps and all that kind of stuff. It's just not worth it if the coin's only worth $1 or $2, but your mileage may vary. So we're on rolls 16 through 20, and 16 and 17 are done on roll 18, and as you can see already, it's up here obverse facing. One of my favorite quarters to find that is a foreign is the 25-cent Balboa from Panama. So let's see here, 2008. Now it is clad. It's not worth a whole lot of money. I just love the design of this quarter, so it is one of my favorites to find. I have a whole tube of them that I've started, and we're definitely going to keep this and put it on the board because I just love it. So we got rolls 31 through 35 out here on the table, and actually I think in my last clip I may have miscalled which rolls we were on, but that's okay. This is roll, let's see here, that would be roll 33, 34, and 35. This is roll 33, and we've got the little DDR down here in the cuff. I've been finding more and more of these lately. It's right here. I showed this off in my last quarter video. This thing presents itself a lot of different ways. Some it's a little bigger hunk of metal here. Some it's down here on the cuff. You can see this over at varietyvista.com. I did find a few of these in my last video, and if I recall, I couldn't find any comps on eBay, but this is a recognized DDR, at least by Variety Vista. So we're going to put it on the board as a find. So we've got rolls 36 through 40 open here on the table, getting through 36. We're about halfway through, and I've got one under the scope here for you. This is the 2022, or hang on, I don't even remember. What is it? It's the 2023 Philly Bessie Coleman. And you can see right here, we've got ourselves a huge die chip up here on the biplane wing. Now, this die chip can show up in a lot of places and can be a lot of different sizes. This is one of the larger ones that I've ever found, but you can find it all on this edge of the wing. You can find it down here on the bottom wing. It shows up in a lot of different places. While I got you here, the other thing you want to check is for a little in-cues error down here on the E and the C. If you can find a big ghosted E and C kind of hanging out here in this field space, those can be worth a couple of bucks as well. But we'll look for some eBay comps for this one at the end of the video. So literally the very next coin produced another error, and this is a DDR, or a double die reverse here on the West Virginia 2016 Philly. Quarter's not in the best of shape, but it's a nice example of a DDR that you can be looking for. And it presents itself down here in the first big bay here with the big door with the barrels under it in the windows. And you can see right here, we've got doubling in the windows. You can see an extra window frame here and an extra window frame there. And there are lots and lots of varieties of this. Some present in lots of the windows, some it's just one or two. So this is actually a pretty good example so you can see it. Hopefully that's showing up for you there, and I'll even zoom in a little bit real close for you. So you can see there's a little extra bit there, an extra bit there is not supposed to be there. So pretty cool. Glad I had this find, and we're going to go ahead and throw it on the board. Well, we have reached the end of our hunt, and we're going to do a little wrap up here. Now, it looks like I have a lot of quarters up here, but we really don't have as many as it looks like, and that's mainly because the majority, well, not even the majority, all of these you see right here are our bicentennial quarters. I always pull those aside because one of my bucket list finds will be that double die obverse that you see up there in the BER of Liberty. I've yet to find one in all these years of coin roll hunting. Here we found 3, 6, 7 of the Denver bicentennial quarters, and we had 2 of the Phillies. So I do tend to hang on to the nicer specimens of these. The rest get tossed back to the bank. Before I get over to my errors and whatnot, we did find a really nice 2009 Puerto Rico. The 2009, 10, 11, and 12 quarters are really tough to find in really nice condition, so I always pull the nicer ones of these and check them against my books. This is likely going to be an upgrade. 2009 Denver, and I've also found that Denvers typically have a nicer strike and a nicer finish than our Philly quarters, so it's always nice to find really good versions or really good specimens there to put in our book. But I'm not going to show you the books, but I'll almost guarantee you that will upgrade at least one of the 2 sets I have. Of course, we also had this Balboa, which I just love to have. No value for me here in the U.S. really, but I just think it's a really cool design, so I keep that in tubes. Now, on to our actual finds. Now, I didn't bring you in for every one. When I found duplicates, I didn't bring you in, but we did have 2 of the Crossing the Delaware 2021 Philadelphia DDR on the sleeve, and I still can't find any comps on eBay for this, but this was the one I didn't show you. I didn't bring you in for. The other one looked a little different. The line came down a little bit more, but still pretty cool to find. And Original ATOG Coins on YouTube was the first one to send one in to Variety Vista, and he got accreditation for the DDR001, I think, of that coin, which is pretty cool. The die chip and the hair, I mentioned bringing you in that you're going to find kind of like 1 to about 10 of these in a box. We found 4 today. There you go right there. You don't even need a scope, but I'll put it under there again for you. There it is. Now that die chip can fill that whole channel. You can find little just itty bitty die chips, but typically the larger the chip, the more it's probably worth. I did do some looking on eBay, and for this one, it's kind of going anywhere from about $1.20 to, I saw a recent sale for $5 plus shipping and handling. I'll put that up on the screen so you can see they are current sales. Now, I do think there's lots of people trying to move these, so it's possible you could list this on eBay and it would never ever sell. So just keep that in mind. I have a ton of these. I probably have 2 tubes of these at this point. Like I said, I really don't look for them all that often. I just keep the nicer ones. This is a DDR that I've only really been looking for since I got the Strike It Rich book. This is the 2016 Philadelphia, and I did bring in to show you that little DDR in the windows. Looked on eBay. That thing's going for anywhere from about $1 to $3 with shipping and handling. The die chip here on the Bessie Coleman, and we do have a really big die chip up here on the airplane. Again, don't really need a scope, but it just stands out like a sore thumb when you do have a scope. There it is. That is a huge die chip right there. And I did find 2 listings on eBay that looked very, very similar to this same die chip. And it was going for really about $2 to $7. Now, 7 I think is probably too many dollars for that. I think easily 2 or 3, maybe 4. If you get lucky, good for you. If you can get $7 for that, that would be pretty cool. Now, on the screen, I'm going to keep a tally, and I'll kind of give you the low and the high for if you got, minimum on this and maximum. And again, you kind of have to decide whether it's worth your time to try to sell something like this if you are interested. Or if you're a collector, just find them and put them in tubes. There is nothing wrong with that. I actually don't sell too many of these. I usually just hang on to them myself. As for the W, this is going to be the most valuable thing we found today. The Salt River Bay, even in this condition, I did find on eBay going for about $12.50. So even on a bad day, I imagine you could get $8 or $9 for this. So pretty cool for a quarter out of a roll from the bank. Now, I've gotten these out of coin machines. I've found them in change, but they are getting harder and harder to find the further we get away from 2019 and 2020. And it's because so many collectors and coin roll hunters have been plucking them from circulation. So it's pretty cool, and it's getting to be more and more rare to find these in your boxes. So with that, we're going to wrap up the hunt here. I had a lot of fun. I do think quarters are a good time to hunt, especially, if you're new to coin roll hunting and you want something that's going to give you lots of different things to look for. Download my checklist. Go buy that, Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book. It's just a ton to look for. And honestly, filling out albums with these quarters from 1965 to current is also a lot of fun if you've got small children or you're just a collector yourself. It's a great rainy day afternoon thing to do, and quarters are still abundant everywhere. You can get them at gas stations, grocery stores, banks, etc. So if you're looking for a fun hobby to get into, coin roll hunting quarters is a lot of fun. Don't expect to find a lot of silver, but that does happen from time to time. So with that said, if you did enjoy this video, let me know by dropping down below and clicking that like button. While you're down there, leave me a comment. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. Love the feedback. If you're new to the channel and you like coin roll hunts, I do a whole lot of them. Make sure you do click on that subscribe button and then click that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. Would really appreciate it. Special shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel each and every month. We did reward my members recently with a members-only giveaway of a 90% silver $half that's worth about $10 or $12 today, so that was pretty cool. Trying to give back to my members a little bit more frequently this year, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, I am picking up, hopefully if they came in, a couple of boxes of halves before the end of the week, and hopefully we'll get those hunted over the weekend. So with that, you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.